Okay, so now it's time to pick a book. This is the most exciting part for me. When I first started my journaling career, I was in rehab and I was given the green binder. Those of you who were in rehab with me will remember the green binder. And we were given day sheets. And we were encouraged to journal our day. And some of this was for cognitive behavioral therapy as well, CBT, as we took that. And I have all of my day sheets. And when I was looking over them the other day, I realized that at the bottom of each page, I had written how many steps I had. And the first one, on the first day that I started to journal about my steps, I had 1,200 steps, and I was agog. I could not believe that I got 1,200 steps. So these notes take me back. They bring a lot of information on what happened and when it happened and all those years ago. Now, some people will want to maintain a binder, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you have a huge medical history, sometimes a binder is the best way to go. I found it a little cumbersome, although lots of information stays in the binder. But I started to move on to books, and when I got home, I found it was handy to just have a smaller book. And so I went to the dollar store and I got this snazzy book that has sparkles on it. And this was just a small book that I used. I kept my information in this book and lots of information in it. You can see there's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing, just a dollar store book. And then I moved to another dollar store book, and I like this one because it had polka dots. And the defining feature in this was the elastic to close the book. I really, really like that elastic to close the book. Once again, nothing fancy about it, but this book does have an envelope in the back, which is important for any loose papers that you have. So I really like that about the book. So I was moving up in the world, right? And then I bought another book, and I have some stuff here and some stuff there, and some of the stuff is all over the place, but there was nothing fancy about this book, and it didn't suit me to keep going with it, so I didn't, okay? Some other books that we'll look at, these are simply dollar store books, most of these. This one here I got from the dollar store. It's just a 2009 planner, and it was about $2, and it's got everything in it. If you're not into doing all of the calendars and all of the writing and everything that it takes, this is a great book because it has everything done for you. It doesn't have a pocket in the back, but it does have a small pocket in the front. I'm not as fussy about this pocket in the front because all of my loose sheets would be covering the page, the title page, and it would also be exposed to anybody who was passing by, so I'm not fussy on that book. Another book that I picked up, this one was at Indigo, and this was a bit of a more expensive book. It has a really, really nice feel to the front of it, and I like the little meme it has on the front of it. It has a dots for the lines, okay? So it helps you to trace, but it gives you a little bit more creativity there. It's all in what you would like, okay? So that's another book that I used. Once again, we have another dollar store book here. Now, this is a pretty good book. This has the elastic closure. It didn't have an envelope at the back, so I put an envelope. I MacGyvered an envelope to put in the back here for this book so that I would have some place for my loose stuff. It doesn't have the ribbon placeholder, and so that's not a great thing, but there's lots of stuff. I'm going to take you through this book when we talk later, and this just has the lined pages on it. Another book about the same, nothing fancy about it. It's just a lined paper book. You would put an envelope in the back of that to hold all your loose stuff. It doesn't have a ribbon on it. Once again, another book. Just dollar store books, nothing fancy. This one does have a envelope in the back of it. That's pretty cool. It's got a nice envelope in the back of it. It has some calendars to begin with and some pages that are written up for you. And this might be a really good alternative for some people who don't want to do any of the artwork and the fancy stuff, okay? So once again, a couple bucks at the dollar store, no big deal. This book was another one at the dollar store. Now, this one is a little bit more expensive. This one was about $3.50. This book has the elastic to closure. This book has a ribbon placeholder. I really like that. And it comes with an envelope in the back. So this book has almost all of the features that I would like. And it has lined paper. If you don't mind the lined paper, I don't mind it. It doesn't matter to me too much. This is a really good book for $3.50 at the dollar store. Okay, so those are kind of our run-of-the-mill books, if you will. Nothing fancy about them. If you want to get into fancy, let's talk about Moleskine books. Moleskine is a brand name, and I'm not pushing the name because I don't get anything for it. But this is the book that actually started me on journaling. It has the elastic closure. It has the ribbon for the placeholder ribbon. It comes with a beautiful envelope in the back, huge envelope in the back. And it's graph paper. So this is a simple graph paper, okay? You can get them in with dots, you can get them with lines. It's all a matter of what you choose. This is a beautiful book. I love this book. And I haven't been able to find this book again, and I'm pretty upset about it. I have to go and find another one because this was a very well-used book. And I'll take you through this book as we... So this is a Moleskine, and I got it at Indigo, and it was about 40 bucks. Well worth the money. This book is also a Moleskine. Actually, these three are actual Moleskines. And they're a good quality book. What you'll find is different is the paper. The paper is made for journaling, and it's made for writing on both sides. So when you're looking at a book, remember to look at the paper, okay? The paper that comes with it. Because if you get a cheap book like the dollar store books, the paper might not be the best in the world, okay? So you might not be able to do the front and back of the page. My book always has my name on the front of it so that everybody will know that this is a personal book. And I made a mistake with my date when I put it here. I put 2018 instead of 2019. So this is just some washi tape to put over my mistake. That's how we hide mistakes when we're journaling. I'll show you more about that later. The inside cover of my book is always done like this. This book belongs to Barbara Moore, my address, my phone number, and my email address where you can return this to or contact me so that I can pick it up. Always, when you're doing your book, put this in your book. If you find this book, please return for reward. I don't know what the reward will be, but we'll figure out what the reward is. This will encourage anybody who finds your book to return it to you. I took my book to the doctor's one time, and I was getting a cab home, and I was so concerned about getting my walker and my tanks and everything, I forgot the book in the car. Because of this, they could find me, and they knew how to return the book to me. So that was pretty cool. Finally, I have a smaller Moleskine, and this is one that I think that men would enjoy. And the reason why men enjoy it, because they usually have a book in their front pocket, right? So this is a really cool book. It's got the elastic closure on it. It has an envelope in there for any of your personal information. It also has the page ribbon, the page marker, but it has blank pages. So I don't know if that would suit anybody. This is just a smaller Moleskine. Remember that the Moleskine is for journaling, and it gives a better quality of paper. So it might be worth it to look at it. So it's time for you to now go pick your book, go to the store, go online, go to Amazon, look at books. Moleskine is not the only brand of books, but they are one of the better ones. There's also a Lynchkin, and if you go to Amazon, you'll see all of them. Good luck on your book, and we'll come back and start our setup.